Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai 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 Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Hari Om to everybody. Yesterday we were sharing some of the points raised by Swami Rama. Another book was there. So 2-3 things we have to keep on hammering and reminding us. That Nama chanting should enable us to develop close friendship with the name, so that we have been assured that it will lead us, it will talk to us and guide us. We should also keep on reminding that he is the most reliable friend. How do I develop this relationship? A repetitive performance leads me to know the meaning of the mantra, which will slowly develop affinity with the mantra. I become more closer to the mantra. Then the vibratory presence. How with all love and devotion when we vibrate, when we chant, the vibration created by it creates the presence of the mantra. And finally the mantra will lead us to silence, to make us aware of the truth. This is something on which we have to keep on. A repetitive performance, meaning, affinity, vibratory presence, and finally to silence. This, suppose we develop this, the tangible gain is that we find always he is with us. Through the name. Because bluntly he says, We are unable to bring the picture of God before us because He is nameless and formless. So how are we to bring the picture? It is not possible. We would have felt it, but we cannot bring it out. So a name is given. So name equals God. See the rationality behind it. When name is God, when Papa says name is God, none of us was able to understand what does he say with that. Name is God because God cannot be brought within the ambit of knowable. He is not an object, He is not an entity. He is the mysterious power because of which even the name is chanted. So we cannot bring Him. So the only way is to give a label, name. And the name stands for Him. And the name becomes my friend. God becomes my friend. My closest friend. The only thing is, here, whenever we need, we should find Him first, not second. That means, not, I am also doing, that is the hint He gives. I am in trouble, I am searching for everything, I am also trying. No. I must bring Him into the picture first. He is my closest, dearest. It's a wonderful position, something for all of us to keep on hammering and going deeper within. We will find some more clarity. Since we are all votaries of Brahman. Now we slowly get the meaning when Papa said the name is God. When in some bhajan it comes, I don't want you. In Kannada you untalla. I only want your name. When I got the name, I have got everything. We were enjoying the music, but we did not know the meaning. So that Bhakta has transcended all those things. And he was able to have the presence of God in the form of name. Any other point? Swami Rama touched.
It's a compact prayer.
It's a compact prayer, beautiful. It's a compact prayer. It's a compact prayer. We should treat it as a compact prayer. This will definitely help me when many things happen outside, on which I have no control. Whenever I am subjected to pass through trying moments, on which we have no control at all. Everything is external. My desires, my likes and dislikes, my preferences, my priorities, so and so. When all these things torment me, torture me, immediately I take refuge in Him. Then we know that, when Puja Swamiji was asked by a devotee, that how is it that you are in a position to maintain an unruffled manner even in times of crisis? We don't see you losing your temper. Whereas when something goes not in the way in which it should, however much we control, the anger develops. At times it bursts out, otherwise it will be there in our mind. So how to control the anger? At that time, Puja Swamiji gave an answer which probably we understood at the surface level. He said, chant, don't react immediately, number one. And second thing, before reacting, chant 3 times or 11 times Ram Nam. So we thought by the time, when we chant, it becomes the food. Maybe that is it. But the real is that we are connecting up with Him. Because He stands for God. We don't have to think about anything else when we chant. Nama itself is that. Nama stands for God. Just like when we call your name, the name stands for you. I don't have to add something else. Simple common sense. Now only we understand. When we say, Ravi, please come, we don't have to use any other term. Ravi will come, The name stands for the whole personality, the whole entity, the whole power. Name is not different from him. When our Papa used to say, it was not very clear. That is why he probably brought Swami Rama's word so that he gives more and more clarity on it. We don't have to bring any other thing. Now let us see what Papa says about his own experience. Devotee, would it be possible for us to hear you chant your mantra and say something about its significance? Papa, after chanting the mantra for some time, the mantra which Ramdas was repeating was Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. He received this mantra from his Guru, who was none other than his father. After the mantra was received, Ramdas felt that it took complete possession of him. It was not that he possessed the mantra, but the mantra possessed him. He was constantly repeating it, and in that repetition from the very start, he felt absolute peace and joy. It is all due to God's grace, because without His grace, our mind does not turn towards Him. Without His name will not taste sweet to us or prove beneficial to us if without our mind turning towards God. Our mind will be wandering in many directions if we repeat the name mechanically. The mind must be attuned to the name of God, and through the name we must attain that inner consciousness or awareness of the Divine. We must also feel His presence everywhere. This is the end we have to attain. This mantra was working in Ramdas's mind continuously until the mind became luminous and peaceful and all its impurities were completely eradicated. Ramdas has seen so many persons struggling on the path of God realization or God vision, but they have not been able to root out the desires of their lower nature. From Ramdas's experience, he can boldly say that by the repetition of the mantra given to you by a guru, you can make your mind absolutely pure like a crystal. Purity of mind is essential for God vision. You must be absolutely honest, straightforward, free from lust, greed and wrath. Then only God can be yours. You can realize Him, experience Him, live, move and have your being in Him at all times. So during the non-chanting time, he doesn't say so, but now we understand. When he says honest, straightforwardness, when we are involved in various types of activities. Because none of us are in a position to exclusively sit from morning till night with the Nama. In the blunt truth. In between, you may be chanting, no doubt. But there will be a lot of gaps. Especially when we are engaged in various types of activities, there is a likelihood that we may not be able to chant. So at that time, how should I make my equipment free from impurity? If the equipment is not free from impurity, I will not be able to eke out the fullest benefit from the chanting. So that means I should be honest, straightforward, and free from lust, greed and wrath. This should not be lost sight of. So what matters during the non-chanting moment matters much for the real fruition. This is how Papa gives the clues now. But at the same time, the first part, but he also assures us that this will be possible. You don't have to do any extra work, provided you are honest, everything is okay, plus remember. Whatever little impurity that are lurking within will definitely be washed away. Because you all know that you are also leading an ordinary life. So the baggage will be there in his mind. And then he was able to, in spite of that, he was able to do it. Because God blessed him right from the beginning, the right concept. He was not chanting the name as such. He was chanting he was really chanting, dwelling on God.
He said, the moment he received the Mantra from the Guru, it possessed him. That's what he did. That's how it is like that. He cannot but repeat. They got away for him. It just possessed him. He has not repeating. Nama is possessed him and he has followed it. So, the other way. And the Guru was quite very great. And the 2 years back in here, what he has done, that wasn't there. The 2 years before initiation, what he has done, he was doing. And the effect of those things on that told me. He has done 2 years before this one. Very important. He 2 years before, he started. He used to always bring Rama, like 2 years. Very nice. Which are different in this.
What about that?
They are not good.
Right? Around today also.
We try, and you are right, we try, as much as possible, we try to chant his name, whenever it is possible. Apart from our time exclusively allotted for chanting, say in the ashram when you are attending the program there or there, we do, now that we have opened up, we will try to chant his name while walking, while doing, instead of talking about something, why not we chant? Why not we think about the glory? And then, this clarity, the name itself is God. That's the difficult, but we have printed and given. Name is God. There is a beautiful article by Papa. Name is God. You are not able to understand. Now it is a common sense. When we call your name, you are coming there, na? We don't have to add anything else. So the name stands for the comprehensive personality. Full. So similarly, the name stands for Him. So I was thinking that I will change, I will keep on chanting the name and then one day He will take me to Him. But here it is not like that. Now it is becoming clearer and clearer. Though when somebody's name is called, we know it is a name pasted on the body after he arrives to the body later. All those things we can understand. But name first, the individual comes before us. Later on, okay. The moment somebody calls our name, Mukhananda, immediately we look. And then for our individual sadhana, we may think that it is only a label given. In 1999, this name was given. Previously, some other name was given. So I cannot be the name. But for all practical purposes, this name. So when I repeat the name, I try to bring this attention. Name is God.
So that is a practical aspect of life.
Practical aspect. So then only he will become my friend, Then I keep on repeating the name. Then I try to understand the meaning. Meaning is this, he is that. And then the closeness, then the an inexplicable joy wells up, the vibratory presence. We cannot explain more about it. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. What do we get, It can't be explained. So it's vibratory present. And then it will slowly lead to the silence to reveal the truth. Just like an individual, when a shishya, a disciple approaches the Guru and to ask him, have you seen God? Yes. Can I see him? Yes. Then take me to him. Then immediately he said, you gave me a visiting card. I will send you. Who are you? So he said, I am so and so. Then he said, no, this is not right. His name here, right? So, if you are the name, did you announce at the time of arrival to this world from the mother's womb that I am so and so coming? In order to distinguish you from others, somebody in your ear called 3 times on a particular day, and later on you are identified as a. Are you the name? If you send your real visiting card. Then he said, I am the body. He said, no. Again you are wrong. No, sir, I am not wrong. I am not beyond this body. No, I am not here. I am not here. I am only here. Then he said, you can see your hand, yeah. You can see your belly, you can see your face, you can feel your head, legs. If you can see your hand, how can you be the hand? If you can see your body, how can you be the body? I agree, I am not the body. You are not still sent the visiting card. Then he said, I am the mind. Then he said, that's a tricky word. Tell me what is the mind and then tell me that is man. So he said, mind is nothing but flow of thought. Without thought, I don't exist. I can't see you, I can't speak to you now. Then he said, again you are wrong. You find many times, good thoughts, bad thoughts, creative thoughts, destructive thoughts, positive thoughts, negative thoughts. I feel dullness, I feel depressed. So when you say, when you can identify all these with the thoughts, how can you be the thought? He started thinking. That is also right. Suddenly he stopped asking. Then he asked, then who really am I? I was thinking I was the name, I was the body, I was the mind, but I know now I am not any of these, but I am there. Tell me who I am. Then he said, it can't be true. You ask me when visiting her and finally you are throwing your hand like it is not fair. Then he said, it can't be explained because it is not the object. It is the very subject. So you have to undergo certain things so that you will become aware of it. Nobody can tell you this and that. And so because your awareness, he took up and then finally realized. Why he remembered, the 4 stages he says. First repetition of the name. And the meaning. And the affinity. and the vibratory presence, and finally leading to the silent where Miko be. So the identification with the Nama as Him finally leads us to the real inner content, the core of the being. That is how it goes. So Nama by itself represents the whole thing, and the Nama leads us to the core of our being. Just like an individual is completely identified by the name, and later on we find the indwelling reality is there in him. That is named as so and so, that's all. Now we also remember one thing. Yesterday Swami Rama was saying, any name is God. Any name is the name of God. Because in everybody, the indwelling God is there, no? Indwelling reality is there. Without which the individual cannot function, cannot exist. So any name that is given is God's. Yeah, that's also the point. We are attuned to or habituated to think these are all God's names, no? These are all okay, ordinary, usual, local, modern names. But now we realize every name is the name of God. Why? Because in everybody He is there. That is how it slowly expands. Every name. So what else? Constantly repeating. Yesterday we also wanted to share one thought. He made a mention about O. Remember? Because it is easy. Om, Soham, Ram. Just like that, it is easy to associate with our breathing, easy. So at that time, we remember there is one sloga. Because in Bhagavad Gita he says, Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat is the name. And then elaborately the Lord explains about Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho Brahmana Trivida Smrtaha Brahmanastena Vedascha Yajnascha Vihita Puraha. Nobody gives a huge explanation. Om means yes, God just exists. He exists even in the 20th century. He exists today, He existed yesterday, He shall exist tomorrow. He is always there. The creation too is always there. And we too are ever ready to continue our spiritual quest in all earnestness. We are the seekers and the worshippers. He is the Lord. And everything in the creation is a means for worship. When our whole being gets charged with this feeling, we may be said to have digested the meaning of Om. The spirit of Om should permeate our being and find expression in our sadhana. See the sun at any time. It is always there with its rays, never without them. In the same way, our sadhana should be clearly visible in our life to all at all times. Only then it can be said that we have assimilated the spirit of Om. And so again you will see. Yes, Swamiji reminds me. The sadhaka should become a sadhaka for 24. What does he mean? We thought, chanting and all, whatever, we are disciplined. No. Every act, every thought, every deed should conform to the sadhaka. That means connecting ourselves with God. Nothing in terms of individual, everything in terms of the cosmic reality. Om means What does he say? The Lord has countless names. Vyasa compiled 1,000 of them in the Vishnu Sahasranam. In fact, any name that we can think of is His. Whatever name appears to us, we should take it to be one of His names and should see the corresponding attribute present in the whole of creation and shape our life in accordance with that. To meditate on a name, to see the corresponding attribute present in the whole of creation and to imbibe that attribute, I call it Tripada Gayatri, 3-step sacred mantra of deliverance. For example, if we take the name Dayamaya, that is, look upon the Lord as merciful and compassionate. We should envision the merciful and compassionate Lord pervading the entire universe. That's the meaning, no? Swami Rama said the meaning. Otherwise it becomes superficial. Lord pervading the entire universe. We should realize that He has given a mother to every child. He has given air for all to breathe. Thus we should see that in the scheme of the merciful and compassionate Lord, there are mercy and compassion. And then we should infuse mercy and compassion into our own life. That's all. This is all. We chant a name, we try to understand the meaning, that meaning we try to put it in our life, that is all. So it should be writ large in all that we think, in all that we talk, in all that we do. Thus we should see that in the scheme of merciful and compassionate God, there are mercy and compassion. And then we should infuse mercy and compassion into our own life. The Gita suggested the name that was most prevalent in that day, Om Tat Sat. Om means yes. Yes, God does exist. Gandhiji said, God exists because I exist. If the I exist, nobody needs question. No? I don't need any proof. That itself is the proof for God exists. Without Him, I cannot. He exists even in this 20th century. He exists today, He existed yesterday, He shall exist tomorrow. He is always there. The creation too is always there. And we too are ever ready to continue our spiritual quest in all earnestness. We are the seekers and worshippers. He is the Lord. And everything in the creation is a means for worship. Everything in the creation is a means for worship. When our whole being gets charged with this feeling, we may be said to have digested the meaning of Om. The spirit of Om should permeate our being and find expression in our sadhana. So see the sun at any time, it is always there with its rays, never without them. In the same way, our sadhana should be clearly visible in our life at all times. Only then it can be said that we have assimilated the spirit of Om. Then comes Sat. The Lord is Sat. That is, He is good and auspicious. Look at the creation with this feeling, and you will find His goodness and auspiciousness in it. When you take out a pitcherful water from a river, a pit is not formed there. Surrounding water rushes in immediately to fill the depression. You take a glass of water from one spoon from this water. It levels up by itself, like this, in a trial. Always full. What an expression of love and benign. A river above depression. The water of a river is clean and pure because it is flowing continuously and speedily. The river of creation is also getting purified continuously and speedily. That is why it is good and auspicious. Let our actions too be likewise. To understand the Lord as such, all our actions should be full of purity and devotion. All our actions, our entire sadhana should be continually examined and progressively purified, just as Somarasa used to be filtered through wood. Use of a Soma plant. Soma appears to be an imaginary plant representative of all vegetation. Vedic sages are said to drink Somarasa, which Vinobaji has interpreted as pure diet. Pavitra literally means purified. Then comes Tat. Tat means that, something different, something unattached to the creation. The Lord is distinct from the creation and is unattached to it. As the sun rises, the lotuses bloom, the birds leave their nests, darkness disappears, but the sun is somewhere far off, quite aloof from all these outcomes. When our actions become detached and disinterested, it can be said that we have digested that. Tat. In this way, the Gita teaches us to dedicate all the actions to the Lord using the Vedic name Om Tat. The idea of dedicating all the actions to the Lord has already been introduced in the 9th chapter. That's Karoshi Dasnosi. The same idea has been elaborated further in 17th chapter. This chapter particularly pointed out that the actions to be dedicated to the Lord must be sattvic, for only then they will be worthy of being offered to Him. So now it gives us some idea through Bhagavad Gita. Om Tat Sat. Not for the academic purpose. 2-3 things now we really, the simile of that taking a cup of water. Om Tat Sat. And the name of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita itself it says, Om Tat Sat. ഇങ്ങനെ ബ്രഹ്മത്തിന്റെ നാമങ്ങൾ 3 വിധമെന്ന് പറയപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. ഓം തത്സത് ഇതി നിർദ്ദേശോ ബ്രഹ്മണ ത്രിവിധ സ്മൃതഃ ബ്രാഹ്മണോസ്തേന വേദാശ്ച യജ്ഞാശ്ച വിഹിതാ പുരാഃ. തസ്മാത് ആയതിനാൽ ഓം എന്ന് ഉച്ചരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ശ്രേഷ്ഠന്മാർ ശാസ്ത്രപ്രകാരമുള്ള യജ്ഞം, ദാനം, തപസ്, കർമ്മങ്ങൾ എന്നിവ അനുഷ്ഠിച്ചു. That is the add Om to it. Om means, it is immediately associated with God. For everything, even Archana, when we do that, Om is added, Idea, huh?
We don't have a very great clarity about it. If we repeat the mantra, then comes the meaning. The meaning is repeated. Then
we should try. Otherwise, it becomes superficial.
And then we are alternating towards the
mantra. The moment when I know about Om, then I become closer to Om, no? Previously, Om. And when I know about the meaning, I become closer.
And then the vibratory presence occurs.
That means this bhavana, when you chant, what it produces.
What do you think Om is? You can't know that Om meaning.
Om stands for God. Okay. The reality.
In general, any chanting, any God name chanting, the chanting itself is a vibratory thing. It itself is a sound wave. So it itself has vibration. So that's why the momentum.
We were not conscious of it. Suppose the mind goes elsewhere, you are not even conscious of the presence of the vibration. Outwardly you are chanting. You are not enjoying the vibration.
Now when we consciously chant, the momentum increases. So the vibration is there. That is your conscious of the vibration. Then it leads to silence. In silence is there vibration.
This is the outcome of the process, We are trying to understand the outcome also mentally, without doing it. It will not help. Let us go up to that. And what happens, let us find out. process we should start. And what will be the end? Because that is the core of our being. When Papa says, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. We understand the academic part, understand. We will never do that. Because immediately the mind stops with that. We are not pursuing, Whereas, we say utterance of God's name. So I start uttering. And in order that it doesn't go out, I devise a method of hearing them chanting by so that it doesn't go out. And when I start hearing my own chanting, slowly I will find the listener thought gets arrested, concentration level goes up and up. Suddenly we realize we know that we are chanting. Who is knowing who is chanting? Chanting stops. So the process should give us the meaning. That is one of the fundamental mistakes, unknowingly, unwittingly we all commit. We also would like to know about the outcome. And it becomes an academic knowledge, and we never, because knowledge that I have heard, the mind will say, this will come to that silence. But actually, we should reach the silence, And then what happens, we will realize, So up to the vibratory presence, yes. Then he said it will lead us to the silence. To know the real content. That real content cannot be explained. So we try these three methods and then somehow reach the fourth one. And see for ourselves what is the outcome. Something we can say, peace. Papa says, the moment he started chanting, he was experiencing peace and joy. That gives us some clues. So the revelation comes out in the form of calmness, gratitude, peace, bliss, contentment, completeness. We can keep on adding this, fullness. That is why they use this. Now I feel conch, before the prayer. Because it produces a vibration. Even this Sunday, the London group of friends, before we start the session, Mr. will request, Jema, so that person will respond. Yes, conch. So he will play the conch. Then when it stops, there will be a pause, then only we start. Shankadeva. Then we start with all these things are necessary because to concentrate, to channelize, to focus our entire attention on that. On what? On God. So God is providing all these facilities to us and then He is revealing to us. We are not aware, we are still thinking in terms of academics, in terms of Shastric knowledge, in terms of written knowledge, verbal knowledge. These are all written and verbal knowledge. But that is not the end, That can never be the end. Unless and until we put in our own efforts. But these are all helpful aids.
Yesterday's article also said that mantra is like a seed.
Mantra is
like a seed.
It's a seed. It's a seed, yes. Those are all helpful for us. When we just sow the seed, it might not sprout at all. Even if it sprouts, it may die after some time. But if we loosen the soil, fill it with surface soil, add a little bit of manure, then sow the seed, water it, mulch it. Every day religiously you go and irrigate. After 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 days, it sprouts. Similarly, when Nama initiation is taken, Nama is sown in our mind. Unless and until we nurture and nourish it will not sprout. We are not bothered about it so far. I've been chanting for ages now. Nothing is happening to me. We hear that, no? Because it has not been sprouted, or it is like this, sprouted just. It's not becoming a plant, it's not becoming a tree, it is not bearing fruits. Because we have not done all the other ancillary things. Ancillary thing means our life should be in line with that, in conformity with this idea. Regularity should be there, mind control should be there, self-denial should be there, purification should be there. So these are all the, when we do farming, we can definitely learn this directly. Just because we sow a seed, no. Yesterday that was also given. All these points we try to assimilate, and then when we put in our effort, mysteriously we will find they are all helping us. Just like when he started prompting us to read, chanting the password, small booklet, how suddenly Swami Rama came?
He made it.
Swami Rama's book came to our hand in February 2020. But it took February 2021 to read. It was in our thing. See that? So how he facilitates and how he brings it up. What other proof we need? So if we take one step, he will provide. He will provide mysteriously. We cannot say logically, this is how it comes, this is how it comes. It is mysteriously, happening.
There is more on silence.
Huh?
There is more on silence.
Silence.
More on silence.
How can we say something on silence? Silence is silence. We
Other
can.
than absence of words, to tell us.
You and I feel we are existing because of the thoughts. If the thought is not there, we don't feel. Every day God is giving us that experience, probably for a shorter time in somebody's case, a little more longer time in somebody's case, the state called deep sleep state. Can we explain the state? So it is inherent in us. What is inherent in us only can come out of us. But there it is nescient, we don't know who really we are. To hear the sadhana prescribed by Mahatmas, in our case Nama chanting, we have been promised that we will reach a stage where there are no thoughts, but we experience deeply. But at the same time, there we don't know who we really are. Here we will know who really we are. Awareness absolute. Not awareness of. And just like the present, when you compare future, past and present, actually there is no present. The moment goes, it becomes past. Isn't it? But we say it is present. That is the only way by which we can say that. This moment. Can you explain that present? If we just concentrate on the present, silence becomes clear. Another word is space. Space is something like silence. On the silence, sound, everything is built. On the space, everything is built. But the moment this hall is built, it was previously nameless, formless space. But when this was built, it has got a name and form, satsang hall. But space has not reduced. It is existing in space only. But you and I will not recognize the space. We will recognize the hall only, hall space. The moment what do you call, pillar, the pipe and the roof is removed, the wall is removed, it is back again the nameless, formless space. So silence is the substratum upon which everything is built. Because sound is the through which we communicate. The moment the sound comes, silence is forgotten, is unrecognized. Like that, we try to understand what it is.
Yeah, we can understand. It comes from there. Sound comes from there. We understand.
Sight and building. Sight and building. So these are all things by which we try to understand the core of our being, silence. It is not nothing. It is everything. It is nothing in the sense, the whatever knowables are there, that is not there. That is why Papa put it as great void. Void means normally we understand as nothing. This is not that void. This is capital G, capital V. That means void of it, void of everything that is knowable. But at the same time, with a container. Container devoid of all contents. Space. So silence is that is why, elaborate in silence. Tomorrow we can again play. Tomorrow. Now its time is over. Tomorrow we will again take up the silence. Because that will definitely help us. But one word Papa says, it's just imprinted in our heart. The self does not require silence. It is always silent. So the Nama will ultimately lead us to the silence. Silence means, the hall becomes aware of this total space. Otherwise the hall will arrogate, I am this, I am that, people come here. I am the hall, I can accommodate so many people. I got all these comforts, I got fan, light, this, that. Wait. Where were you? Suppose we ask. Suddenly start going back to his old days, then find that it is a part of the thing. It is existing in the space. Even all these apertures are removed, it remains a space. And space does not get increased or decreased because of its construction or destruction. Similarly, silence, I am that, unruffled, unaffected. And you are talking about silence here. When you look at the image of a temple, it is silent always. It is not responding. You are superimposing. You feel he has answered. If that idol can answer, it can answer to everybody, no? But today I went, I prayed, he answered. No, it is my own. It's always silent. Just like that, suppose we keep on thinking, oh, I am floating in silence. The very sound is coming from the silence. Shivan Swamiji built it up beautifully. Silence. The other day we read, you remember? Every now and then, suppose we keep on remembering it and connecting up this.
It's good to have a record.
Yeah. It is there. It is there. So again, going back, the name of the Lord effaces sin. A virtuous man may be able to digest the name Om Tat Sat. But what about a sinner? Is there any name that a sinner too could take? Yes, a sinner too can chant Om Tat Sat. All names of the Lord can lead us from untruth to truth, from sin to innocence. You must purify your life gradually. The Lord will then certainly help you. He will support you in your moments of weakness. Because this is given by Vinobaji, you all remember, and when you are going to Bhutan, to Chambal, Madhya Pradesh, dacoits, they are very famous for dacoits. So, dacoits came and then placed their rifles, everything, surrendered. Immediately he said, I cannot guarantee that you will be absolved of all the crime. But if you do this, you are saving yourself, you are saving your generation. Otherwise, how can your children will carry this stigma? How can they become one with the mainstream of life? What power? Just imagine. Because he had embodied himself, all that what he said, suddenly the dacoits fell. Here is the person to whom we can be frank enough and tell him. So the savior, when we are telling about Om Tat Sat, sinner, yes, the same thing will definitely purify. Let us try to assimilate as much as we can, retain as much as we can, and then integrate it with our sadhana, as much as we can. Not hearing and going, assimilate, retain, assimilate, and then integrate it with our sadhana and daily life. This is our prayer. Kindly do that. You have done this much to us. Enable us to assimilate it so that it doesn't just go like that. I must be able to retain the whole thing. And then, not at the mental level, I must be able to integrate it with my sadhana and daily life. Please shower your blessings on us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Rama